front and center, it has been our focus, the Wayanad devastation that has reached day 4 today. The rescue operations continue. There are as many as 308 people that have been found dead after the rescue operations continue for the last days. In fact, there are more than 200 people that are being reportedly told to us that they are stuck in the Wayanad sludge and the landslide. In fact, it remains to be seen whether the remaining 200 and more of those people from Wayanad district can be rescued in time before they succumb and as they are stuck in this. Like I said, more importantly, there are more and more of these visuals. Rescue operations, the Bailey Bridge that has been constructed right now, thankfully, by the armed forces. There have been evacuation processes, relief that have been set up. But more importantly, how the situation stands up until now, because the debris, as we know, has still not been cleared. Large percentage of it, we do not have the JCBs or the earth movers or the other heavy equipment and machinery that is required on a large scale to remove the debris, to clear out the roads and the bridges. So it is going to be a tough, long, tedious task by the NDRF, by the army, by the police forces and the other volunteers that have come together, stand united. But is that effort going to be enough, is the question. Let's start off, I'm going to show you some images, and that's going to give you an accurate picture of what has happened in Wayanad in the last 4 days. And these are, like I said, the latest visuals, which will give you an estimate of the destruction. The lives and livelihoods of the people have been snatched away. Their families, the entire families at this point of time have been drawn away into the huge current flew in from the river at the top of the Wayanad district, which then ended up flowing into the smaller regions, the 6 zones that have been created thus far by the rescue operations team. And here you take a look at this video. There are these huge boulders, these rocks that have mounted on top of each other. And there are, like you can see, a lot of people, a lot of witnesses out there, part of the rescue mission that are at this point of time, fighting these obstacles to pull out the people who are under these boulders, under these heavy rocks, and even stuck in the deluge, stuck in the sludge. Let's take a look at some other set of visuals over here. There are a number of, like I said, a few number of JCBs have also been put up. They have been deployed, and they are clearing out the boulders, they're clearing out the rocks, the debris, and even the mud and the sludge that has gathered over there, in the hopes that there are going to be people that are going to be rescued. Remember, at this point in time, the count that is estimated by the rescue teams is 200 plus people. Now remains to be seen how many of them end up being rescued. Again, more of these JCB machines that are working in full stead 24 hours a day to pull out, as the time elapses, there is more time that is spent, more days that are lost, fewer are the chances for the people to be rescued alive. Again, it's a far time, and there are these number of mini excavators that have also been utilized right now to pull out the debris from the region. Remember, 2 of these regions have been badly hit, and that has made life difficult for the rescue and relief teams to pull out these people, pull out these residents of Wayanad district. Again, pictures of a number of these JCBs which are working at this point of time for rescue operations. Can we pull out? Can we move on to the next set of images, please? It becomes, like I said, the roads at this point of time are blocked, the bridges. A very difficult task for the relief and rescue missions to bring the machines. These heavy machinery is what is required to clear out the roads, to pull the people from the debris, to clear out the mud and the sludge, and that is a massive challenge, because if you don't have the heavy machinery and in the adequate sufficient amount that you require them to be, then this task becomes, you know, prolonged. It becomes longer a duration, and the longer the duration, it means you are going to be able to rescue lesser number of people in the limited amount of time that you have. Again, this is the river stream. In fact, the landslide that struck this region was right on top over here, and this is a heavily forested area on the left hand side, on the right hand side of this river that flows. In fact, there are environmentalists who are also speaking about if this area had been more populated with vegetation and forest reserves, this devastation could have been contained in a large, on a large scale. And as this river flew down, there were the regions in the downstream area that were struck. Those two regions were the regions that were stuck, and there was heavy devastation that was caused by this huge current of water that came flowing in from the Western Ghats. We'll discuss this more. We have more of these visuals. We're also going to take a look at the satellite images. We're going to take a look at the before-after images to give you an estimate of, you know, the amount of destruction that has happened in the last 4 days, and particularly the day one. It was in the morning around 5 a.m. when tragedy struck Wayanad. I'm going to start my conversation first with my panelists. Let's get them on board, and I have with IG of the NDRF. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me on the telecast. And first things first, we took a look at the pictures. We've seen the rescue operations. There is a bridge that has been constructed by the army. There are JCBs and the earth movers that are on the ground, excavators on the ground. Is this enough?
Cooperative means there is still orange alert from the IMD. So we can't make a thrust or pressure on this time. So anyhow, we should take care about it, because when maybe they are in the mud or somewhere will be stuck. So we can't make a heavy pressure, or we can't use this heavy machinery, but middle type of machines which we have with NDRF and Army, we will use it, and we will try to very carefully. We are going to pitch this rescue operation, and we are going to take care about it. Because if we'll make so early or has happened better, so definitely we will lose the people, their life.
Yes.
So,
like I said, longer if the rescue operation is prolonged, lesser the chances that people can be found and rescued alive.
Risk also, na? Because when definitely we are trying to approach them. We are having the live locator, we are having the sniffer dog. So we are in the hope that we will rescue them, we will save them. We have the techniques with us, so need not to worry. This time we should not make so hurry to use this heavy machine. Heavy machine is not the ideal work this time, because this orange alert has been issued by the IMD. One more this heavy pressure of the rain will come. So what will happen then? So we should take all the things in due care, and our work is going on, is very satisfactory, and we will do the best.
Okay, sir. I'll come back to you. I have another panelist joining me on the telecast, but before I get him on board, I'm going to quickly give a perspective to my viewers. Now, there are the Wayanad area where disaster has struck. The landslide has happened. It's been divided into 4 zones. in fact 6 zones, and I'm going to mark for you these 6 zones on a map, on a satellite map, which will help you identify these regions and make you better understand. So this is the region of Punchirimattom, and this is zone number 1 that has been identified, which has been adversely impacted by the landslide. And in this region there are search operations. If you take a look at one of these houses that has been almost completely brought down, collapsed under the impact of the landslide, is what is visible over here in this picture. Here's a look at this region, Punchirimattom region, where Rahul Gandhi also visited, the worst affected area in Wayanad, and there we have the member of parliament from Wayanad who visited. Here the former member of parliament from Wayanad who visited. The second zone is Mundekai region. Now Mundekai region was much further down from Punchirimattom, and this region has also been declared and this region has been demarcated as zone number 2 for the easier understanding and dividing up the work amongst all the rescue and relief operation teams that are located on the site right now. Here's a look at once again more pictures coming in from Mundekai region. This is heavy equipment that has arrived at Mundekai right now. Thankfully, because of the bridge that has been constructed by the army yesterday night, the completion of it that happened. Again, one more picture of a JCB that is operating on the debris that have been spread across 2 to 3 feet in the region. Again, clearance work continues over here. These are the pictures. Zone number 3 is the school area around the region that has been identified. Here's a look at the schools that have been completely almost submerged. You see these buildings, and around these buildings there's a tree tops that have fallen. There are the entire trunk of the trees have completely, they've gotten pulled out of their roots itself, and worse images have come out earlier as well. Here's a look at zone number 4. Churalmala town area is zone number 4. So this is further below, downstream, where disaster struck, and Churalmala town area where the army, after having endured an entire period of 21 hours, was able to construct that Bailey bridge, and finally after these 72 to more than 72 hours, in fact, the kind of strenuous exercise they had to take, and finally having been able to achieve some success so as to allow for military aid, relief aid, medical assistance, food and other security assistance to be provided. Even JCBs, we are being told, have been able to traverse the other side of the town through this bridge. Here's a look at there are military personnel that are being taken from one side of the town to the other across the river. Here's a look at there's again, like I said, medium-sized JCBs are at this point of time, they are being able to be transported from the bridge. Again, more of these visuals of devastation. Tree barks at this point of time, completely uprooted. They are lying on a diagonal position on the ground's surface. Here we take a look at the zone number 5, the village area, where it is the area that is more heavily populated than the others, has been identified as zone number 5. Again, more visuals of the houses that have been partially collapsed, destroyed. And here's zone number 6, which is the downstream area of Wayanad, where tragedy has struck. The NDRF operation team right now in their rafts. This is the Chaliar River, where they are conducting the rescue operations. This is one more rescue operation picture that is in progress in this region in Chaliar River. So having taken a look at these 6 zones that have been created, I'm going to get my other panelists onto the discussion with me. And I have Mr. Bansal with me. Mr. Bansal, thank you for joining me on the telecast. And let's try to understand why is the reason that, this entire area that has been struck by landslides has now been demarcated into these 6 zones. Does it become easier for the rescue operations teams to then focus on the areas? Delegation becomes easier?
Definitely, because of the logistic regions that where the logistic can reach, and once the area is demarcated, then different team can work separately so that the rescue operation can be done in a very proper manner. If all the people are at one place, or if the complete entire, because there is now the whole country resources are there, the military, all wings, that is Air Force, Navy, Army, the Madras Engineering Group, which is very, very competent and very expert in making bridges. We have got National Disaster Response Force, there is a State Disaster Response Force, Coast Guard, everybody together is working, but it has to be in an organized manner. It has been organized in a very proper manner so that it can be. At the same time, there's a hospital also, the patients are being, whoever is injured, they need to go to the hospital. And one more important thing I will tell you, that the survivors has got the psychological impact. They have lost their near and dear one, and they have seen the horrible scene. So their psychosocial and mental health care support is also very, very important. So everything is being taken care of, and it has been going. But what I would like to say here is that what is called the prevention is better than cure, because out of 14 districts of Kerala, that the 10 districts are this landslide prone. Even on 15th July, there was the Monarch, where the tea plantation is there was the landslide. So in 2011, the Gadgil committee, they recommended certain measures which were not taken. As a matter of fact, that though this landslide occurs about 4 or 5 kilometers away or before any habitation, but because there is a lot of development occurring, and the protective measures, the preventive measures are to be taken in 2018. Also, there was such kind of landslide is there. The lesson is to be learned, and the preventive measures, the risk assessment, the vulnerability has to be taken into account. Now, what is happening because of this environmental changes? There's a very hot season, very temperature increase in the South Arabian Sea, and western parts, they are more vulnerable. The fall is very intense, means about 10 millimeter rain, 10 centimeter rain in one hour. That causes the problem. And because in the hilly area, even this much of rain will have not that much effect. But here, the distance is low and slope is high. The land is very fragile. Everything is to be taken into account. This area need to be the preventive measures, and a sustainable development has to be taken care of, because Kerala is very, very prone to landslide after this Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Northeast.
Yeah.
So
also,
this,
the strength of the landslide, if I would mention, because once the river flows downstream, there were these 2 villages that were impacted. And we mentioned that Mundukai and Charul Mala, and what happened was that after disaster struck in these 2 villages, the water then flew into the waterfall that was much lower in the downstream, and there were bodies that were strewn into that river, and with the massive flow of the waterfall, the bodies were even found much downhill, much downstream in the areas within Wayanad. So that, which was much far away from the 2 areas where 2 different landslides struck. So that showcases how strong the strength of this landslide was, because of the heavy rainfall and because of the river which was overflowing.
Definitely, it went up to 40 kilometers away from the place. And what happens after the first landslide, then the river split into 2 parts, because the water has made its way and affected the more areas. So this, anything, even though there was some, as per the reports or whatever statements are coming, there was the forewarning is there, but even at that point of time, the evacuation is not possible. So what is to be done now? Whatever experts advised, as it was advised by Garkil Committee in 2011, all those measures has to be taken well in advance, so that these kinds of because now this is the response. But if we talk about the disaster is the prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and rehabilitation. So we are at the third stage. We have to take care of the prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. So that has to be taken beforehand, and then we can avoid such a tragedy, which is a very, very massive tragedy. More than 300 and died, more than 250 or 200 are still missing. And at this point of time, nothing can be done once the flow. This is the cascading effect of the landslide, the cascading effect having snowball effect and goes into much wider area. Yes.
Right. I'm going to also show some more pictures to my viewers and take a look. I think if you could call amongst all the rescue operations that are taking place right now, it's essential for the 3 sniffer dogs that have been roped in, because these are the sniffer dogs that will be able to identify people that may have been buried under the sludge, under the mud, under the debris, and without them these rescue operations would be extremely difficult, next to impossible to complete. So there are 3 of these army dogs that have been roped in, and these dogs are called Jackie, Dixie, and Sarah. And as you see, in the pictures there is this slurry of mud, and you have concrete, and you have the sludge there, and they're just right now in this picture, I think that this dog is just digging deeper into the hole and trying to figure out if there is human life at this point over here that can be rescued. Again, one more of these pictures of these dogs that are braving the disaster hit site to save more lives. Coming back to you, sir, I have with me again Naveen Kumar Bhatnagar, and sir, let's understand from you as well about what should be the next steps. Now it's 4 days have elapsed. The question on everybody's mind is when can the situation normalize in Wayanad?
Actually, it depends upon the weather. If weather will support, or the IMD says that now it will be stabilized, or will be in a good condition, then our rescue operation will be in a much more faster than the present one. Anyhow, and as General Saab told, so the state government should take care about it, and they should take care about the mitigation, especially settle down the situation, to handle the situation carefully. I tell you here that State Disaster Management Authority Chairman is Mr. CM, Chief Minister. He himself is the chairman. It is his responsibility. And you know that IFD and all the forces are reporting to him time and again. He is getting all the information, all the aids, all the funds. So CM, I hope that he is taking care about it, and day and night he is worried. Not only he, Mr. Home Minister Amit Shah and Mr. Modi, day and night they have regular in touch with the NDRF and our control room, and continuously they are getting the feedback. So it's a good sign, and keeping in view the interest taken by the Chief Minister, Prime Minister and Home Minister, I am sure that very soon this station will be handled very carefully. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to again put out pictures, and here's the contrasting view of what these regions in Wayanad used to look like versus what they now look like after devastation struck 4 days ago. And this is Chural Mala, and this is the region on the left before the devastation struck, and this is right after the landslide that has occurred. Another picture of Mundekai, which is on the left hand side. This is before and this is after, and you can clearly see large portions of habitation, of homes, of the construction area in the region have been completely submerged. There is no sight whatsoever. They're all collapsed under the weight of the debris, of the boulders, of rocks and mud and sludge basically. and that's what has happened. This is Attamala, another of the regions, and here you see on the left hand side the difference is stark to your eye, and on the left hand side you see this green vegetation all around. Remember, it's the rainy season, so greenery all around, and on the right hand side, as the river has inundated, you have the landslide, and it's all brown. That's the mud that has descended over the mountains, over the hills, and caused this massive devastation. Here's a look at another picture of Nulpuza, which is in the region, and again, you know, a similar picture over here. Before this, it's green. The hills at this point in time are covered with greenery and vegetation and forests and trees. And on the right hand side, complete. This is a complete contrast: green versus brown, and that's that gives you an estimate of how bad the situation on the ground is, how impactful this landslide was. All right, let's get back Major General Bansal also into the telecast again, and General Bansal, again the question, when you speak about how it is, you say it is not the most intelligent thing to bring the heavy machinery, give the earth movers, but why is that? Because until the time you have the earth movers and you have the bulldozers and you have the JCBs, you know, there's millions of tons of this sludge and mud and debris which cannot be moved by people.
See, I do agree, but the only thing is there is no dearth of any equipment to. Now, as I told, the whole country resources are available there. The person who are involved in rescuer, they have to assess what is best, what are the types of equipment which can be taken over there. That is very, very important. You know, when there was the tunnel collapse in Uttarakhand, the heavy equipments were not used because of the vibration and further collapse. So it is this sensitivity and this damaging effect has to be assessed by the team working over there. Now, I will like to say one thing here definitely, that with this tragedy, we have to learn the lesson, and learn the lesson in the sense that yes, whatever again, an expert committee is to be there, what are the measures to be taken in future is to be adapted in letter and spirit. They should not forget that yes, now this is the knee-jerk response, now the country has come, and after some time we should not forget this kind of incidents, and future care has to be taken. Of course, India is very proactive because everything is happening because environmental changes. India is having the green hydrogen emission, there's the solar alliance.
Okay, right,
yes.
Fair enough.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.